Good afternoon, everyone. Jonathan Davis here with Davis Autosports. Excited to offer you guys a gorgeous, fully restored DAS Stage 2 Jeep Cherokee XJ. This is a fully restored Jeep, starting with the exterior, complete disassemble. Every single body panel, trim, glass was removed off of the Jeep, completely prepped with a DAS Stage 4 paint job. The paint wraps around all the panels. There's no tape lines. This is a fully color change paint. And by color change, people think colors itself changes. No, it went from one color to another, and every nook and cranny was done. Door jambs, backside of doors. Typically in the industry, there's tape that goes here to mask off where you have hard tape lines. Our paint continues, so door panels, trim, windows, glass, windshields, everything was completely removed. That by itself, I mean, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. Tires brand new, wheels new, lights new, most of the seals around the glass all new. Anything that remained the same, door handles, mirror housings, factory roof rack, all that was painted. So essentially the entire exterior on this XJ was completely refinished. Everything's brand new. This has our Stage 2 suspension and steering package. This has an old man EMU shocks all the way around. Shocks are new, control arms, coils, leaf springs, sway bar end links, upgraded adjustable track bar, tie rod ends. Literally everything underneath this Jeep is brand new. We have a lot of pictures on our website for you to take a look at all that. When we do our lifts and even our restorations here, we're not just installing the suspension. What we actually do is we drop everything from underneath the Jeep. So axles come out, transmission, which the transmission was rebuilt as well. But everything literally comes out from the bottom of the Jeep, gets replaced or completely refinished. When the axle housings go back in, they get fully blasted with a high pressure media blaster, recoated, refinished, and reinstalled piece by piece, just like it would be done at the factory. So very tedious. A lot of time goes into it. This has our DAS 30 over engine as well, so the engine is all brand new. New cylinder head, pistons, rings, rods, bearings, lifters, valve train, timing chain, oil pump. In addition to the engine, the entire cooling system, radiator, water pump, thermostat, plumbing is all brand new. Also has a brand new AC system, compressor, evaporator, orifice tube, condenser, heater core. The entire AC system's new. The fuel system's also been done, injectors. All the breathers have been done, banks, headers, high flow cats, or high flow cat, high flow exhaust. Brakes are all brand new. We also added a rear locker to the Jeep as well. In addition to the locker, we have ARB differential covers. We also added a Kurt tow hitch. Now, we built this Jeep and it was delivered to our client who actually, we have a video of this Jeep when we finished it. It's got roughly, I'll find out the exact miles, but you would never know by looking at it. But it's got about 10,000 miles or so, maybe a little bit less on the build. The build itself left here around 70 grand. The client actually did a full clear brawl on the front clip of the Jeep, which I'll show you here in a moment. He also got a CompuStar alarm installed with remote start and ceramic coated. So he's got roughly $4,500 in addition to the work we did. Now, if you are looking for a tow behind vehicle, that's one of the reasons he ordered this Jeep from us. He was having a motorhome custom built. I'm not going to get into his personal information about it. There were some hiccups there, and that was his whole reasoning of ordering this Jeep. was to tow behind his motorhome. Once again, I'm not going to get into his personal issues, but that no longer is an option for him. So this entire Jeep is, well, not entire, but we did a top-of-the-line system, plug and play, ready to go behind your RV and motorhome. Brake system, which I'll show you underneath the hood as well. Now, if that's not needed, there's no additional cost that we're adding to the Jeep. He's already spent that, so we can remove it. But got the full Blue Ox system right there. Have the monitor system, all the wiring, all the chains. I mean, the entire system. Very, very nice upgrades. Very expensive upgrades, especially with the brake. So the brakes on the Cherokee work when you're towing it, which is a very, very nice upgrade. So literally, whole exterior is pretty much new, roughly 10,000 miles, but it looks no different than when it left here. Suspension, brakes, steering, driveline, all that's been done. So since this was intended, and I don't even know, he maybe had a trip or two with it, but the intended purpose was to pull behind his motorhome. So with the new paint, he brought it to a company and had the entire front of the Jeep. So from it actually, yep, front fender all the way forward has been completely wrapped with a clear protection film. So hood, header panels, even the headlights were done. The front grille, bumper caps, the bumper itself. They did a very, very good job. Hood cowl. So entire front clip, which for you as a driver, you're going to keep that new paint job protected, looking beautiful. He had a set of more of a radial tire. He was not going to go off-roading with the Jeep. Not that these are off-road tires, but being that he was going to pull it, he wanted something as efficient as possible. So when we got it back in, we ran it through our service department. We actually changed out a few seals just to make everything new. So it's got a new rear main seal, oil pan gasket, and valve cover gasket. That's just a standard service we do. Although it was just done when we built the engine for him, we wanted it to be brand spanking new. We also did new tires. Those were just installed yesterday. So although it's got less than 10,000 miles on it, it looks like it just came out of our shop. That's not a crack, that's just where the separation is for the clear film. So part of our stage 4 repaints like this, in addition to disassembling the entire Jeep, the only thing that remained on the unibody was the rear quarter panel, which is built in the roof. The doors, the flares, everything is completely disassembled. Take a peek in here to see if we're doing this on the fly, so I'm not sure how many in here are like that or aren't like that, but some are, some aren't. But you can see that blue one we just started. But that guy right there, there's no hood, no fender, no doors, just the roof and the rear quarter. Nothing else is on it. So that's our process. However, this particular Jeep, and is the case with most of them, we'll start off with one panel, and this holds true to every panel. Most body shops, when they paint a door, they'll take the existing door, and once it's straight and all the body work has been done, they'll sand it to where it's a good flat surface, and they'll prime on top of that. But what they're priming on top of is often a mixture of the remaining primer and base coat. We take our Cherokees down to the metal, and from there we build it back up. We usually average about 3 to 4 primers, and with a primer, what I'm referring to is once we bring it down to metal, we'll prime it, we'll block it, we'll prime it, we'll block it, and by blocking, I mean sanding it. And then we'll prime it again, and we'll block it again. And what that does is creates a perfectly flat surface. So a lot of our Jeeps, believe it or not, look much better than they do from the factory, because factory panels are pretty wavy because of their process. But even if they're not better, they're just as good. So very, very tedious. And we do that with every single panel. And that's why our Jeeps are in our body shops for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Another thing that we do is go look at any factory Cherokee, and you won't see the fit and finish on the inside of the doors comparable to the fit and finish on the outside from the factory. We spend just as much time on the door jambs, the inside of the doors, as we do with the exterior. If you see how smooth the paint is, and that's for every single section of the Jeep. Go look at a factory Cherokee and look at this center pillar right here. It will not look like that. All the trim is completely removed. You won't see one color. I'm not removing it for the video, but even the pinch welds have the new color on there. For the exterior, with 2 to 3 coats of base and then a minimum of 2 to 3 of clear coat, the door jambs have it as well. So what you'll see a lot on factory Jeeps is you'll see the door jambs and the backside of the doors, the paint starts to fade and peel quicker because they don't put as much material down and not as much prep. So while your exterior may be okay, your door jambs and everything are starting to thin, which will never be the case with our paint jobs. All the hinges get removed, they get painted, backside of the gate. Once again, 0 factory color remaining on this. After all the hard work of painting this Jeep, disassembling it, painting it, clear coating it, putting it back together, from there it gets a full wet sand with a 1500 wet sand as well. Now this interior is very tricky on camera and under these very bright fluorescent lights. These are very, very bright lights, and it has a tendency to make this it's more brown in person than it is even on the video footage right now. It's given, it has a little bit more of an orange hue on camera than it does in person. So it's a rich sort of brown, but it always appears to be lighter. I'm gonna try to lower the light setting just a hair, just to give you a more realistic idea of what this color is. It's by far our most popular color. And what we did with this particular setup, we went with the solid leather on the outsides, and then we did the perf inserts to give it some contrast. The leather we did on the door panels have the matching perf as well. Rear pockets. On the interior, in addition to the leather seats that I'm showing you, the interior was fully gutted. Once we gutted the interior, we lined the entire floor pans and the roof, and I believe the doors. I'll confirm on the listing, but I know for a fact that the entire floor pan, front to back, cargo, and the roof was fully dynomatted. We then installed brand new carpet that comes with a extra backing behind it. Carpet looks absolutely phenomenal. From there, our DAS leather seats. We also rebuild the bolsters, so when you sit in one of these seats compared to a 20-year-old seat, 24-year-old seat, these hug you. They feel great. They're nice and firm. If you look at how deep this bolster is. So rebuild the entire seat, all new leather. We did leather on the center console, heated seats, color match steering wheel. We also did a upgraded tweed headliner. Behind that is Dynomat, upgraded sound system, Apple Play, Android Play, speakers, backup camera, the works. WeatherTech floor liners throughout. Part of our seat package is obviously the cushions come off, the moldings come off, and we're left with all of the framing and the feet. Those get completely sanded down and refinished. If you look at most Cherokee seat brackets, they actually have rust. The reason being is that bolt on the front and rear goes through the floor pan and is exposed underneath. So that bolt will, even in a rust-free environment, gets wet. And since it's not a grade 10 or a stainless bolt, it will rust, and that rust will travel through the bolt and eventually get to the bracket and get the bracket all funky. So all the seats, even the part of the frame that you don't see, gets completely sanded down. You can see the handle as well, and gets completely refinished. So we're going above and beyond just the surface stuff of what you see. We're doing the framing and everything. Straight ahead in the center of the frame, that is a Bluetooth microphone. We ran the wire up the pillar so that it's very, very close to the driver. I'm pretty sure we did the Dynomat on the doors as well, but once again, I will confirm. WeatherTech back here, nice storage right here, and as I touched on, this thing is absolutely turnkey, plug and play, ready to go if you have an RV or motorhome. So very, very nice system. A lot of small things like rear gate struts were replaced, all new hardware as well. That's just what we do here. All new door chucks and pins throughout the doors as well. Apple Play, Android. We also ran a hardwire new iPhone cord as well. It's also wireless. We have a very nice Viper. We use CompuStar as well. Remote start, two-way remotes, obviously, 3 keys. We did not do the ceramic coating, but this is the warranty and the company that did it. And they did a great job. I believe this one is the 5-year ceramic coating. I would love to take you guys on a test drive, but we had to move some stuff out. We have about 6 cars in the way, and this thing drives absolutely brand new. I can promise you that. So part of our stage 4 paint jobs, once again, every panel is removed and sprayed 360 all the way around. Once again, we put the same amount of prep into the back side of the hood. If you look at the finish on that, it's not an after the thought sort of thing. Tons of time goes into the fit and finish. I mean, you're not going to see a hood like that on a Cherokee. Same thing with the fenders. Removed, paint goes all the way around, no tape lines whatsoever. This is the RV brake system. If you're into the RV world, then I'm sure you know what that is. Color match valve cover to match the paint. Banks header. The cooling system has been upgraded, high flow water pump, intake, all that good stuff. Now on these videos, guys, I have no notes. I'm literally going off the top of my head. Make sure to go to our website, davisautosports.com, to get a full, we may have done 410 gears in this even. I'm not sure. I know we have a rear locker. Just go to the website. This video is primarily a conditional report video to show you the Jeep, what it looks like, its condition, all the specs. Make sure to visit our website, davisautosports.com. The AC is ice cold. This thing doesn't budge 1 degree temperature wise. It doesn't have one leak from the rear main seal, valve cover, oil pan, axle seals, differentials, transmission, transfer case. We're standing behind this just like it was just completed. Once again, less than 10,000 miles on it. Drives absolutely phenomenal with the Old Man Emu suspension. Another big upgrade that we did on this Jeep, and this is a massive upgrade. We did a full Pour 15 treatment. Let me go up front to the shop. I'll give you an idea. We're doing a couple Jeeps. Excuse the mess. We've had a lot going on here, so haven't had a great opportunity to do some cleaning. So I'll give you an idea. So part of our, and this isn't a restore, this is actually just, we're doing a lift on this particular Jeep, but this will show you our process. So we drop the axles and, yep, it's actually dry to the touch. So these axles get completely media blasted, sanded down, and then this is a Pour 15 treatment. That stuff right there, I'm looking behind me for the actual bottle. I can't find it, but this is going to cure overnight and go back on. Same thing here. So this axle housing is not going to rust up on the owner at all. Very, very good stuff. Now what we do, he's getting the whole floor pan done. It's not the prettiest finish with the Pour 15. That's how it dries. It's not very, very pretty. So what we actually do, a little peekaboo on the LS Comanche we're doing right now. So what we do, once we do the Pour 15, is we actually coat with a different top coat, which gives it a beautiful look. And that's what we did to the Jeep that I'm showing you guys now. We top coat it with a different top coat, and the finish is much nicer, a lot more uniformed. Believe we did that Jeep as well, same process. This is a 2-door long arm that we're currently doing. So just wanted to show you guys that as an example. So that's it, guys. Quick recap. I mean, full restore, new paint, new engine, new cooling, new brakes, new suspension, new steering. Like I said, this was a $70,000 build. You can keep your opinions to yourself if you don't think it's worth it. We're 4 years booked, so while you may not, other people that value years of work on one vehicle. They do. So an additional 3 to 4 grand spent after the fact. We have this price to sell. It's a great opportunity to buy a Jeep from us already completed. And one of the benefits of buying something with a few thousand miles is if you're used to having vehicles built, boats built, you know there's always some bugs that have to get worked out. And having a few thousand miles has given him and us some time to work on those. Once again, this came back to us for very personal reasons that I'm not going to get into, but there was a lot of time in putting this Jeep together in conjunction with his motorhome. So if you guys have any questions, 855 XJ Jeeps, that's 855-955-3377. We also offer full financing. I can get you approved 100% financing, including shipping, including taxes, shipped to your front door, up to 6 years, no money down. Very, very competitive rates, right at prime. Sometimes a hair under, and sometimes obviously it can be over prime as well. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, way too many vehicles to move out of the way to drive this thing. Also, it was just detailed. We had some rain. So I can absolutely assure you this thing drives like new. Thanks for viewing, and we'll see you on the next one.